As I was saying, there's nothing that suggests anything physically that you actually hit the target. I mean, I can take your word for it. I mean, I know I'm known to be the known cheater. I mean, if I don't see anything that says you did it and you say you did it, I'm just supposed to take your word for it.
Yeah, what you're saying is slanderous, it's libelous, it's offensive, and I won't stand for it. It's how dare you even question my honesty in the matter?
I do know you to be an honest person, but I mean, this is in the heat of the moment in competition in sport. Anything's possible. I mean, if this is just like a day-to-day thing, okay, but
Sir,
nah, nah.
sir, I have like 2010 vision. I have like fighter pilot vision. If I say I hit a target, the target is hit. It's done dizzles, done deal. So what we're talking about today, folks, before we get into our round review for this past week, is Joe Pistoletto comes to me at the end of the shooting on this day in the desert. At the end of the shooting of our trial by fire, he comes to me as we're packing up the van and he's holding up a target. Now, without giving a spoiler for the next round, Joe did hit this specific target and he shows me the target and he says, "Look, this target only has one hole," implying that when I shot it, when Corvulu won the round, this target was not hit. But we'll get more into this controversy as we review the round. And I have a airtight defense, of course, for this. But we'll talk about it. But Joe, let's get into it. Let's cover the first round of our trial by fire. This was the first time we used four targets.
We did have four targets. We're starting to expand our game. This is the beta testing phase, as you referred to.
No,
Um,
this is actually still alpha testing, version 2.
it proves to be more challenging, um, more strategic oriented as well. You know, the first having three was it was a good test. It was a good test run. I think we found success in it. But the point of the sport is to be very challenging. Is we want, like as you've mentioned, we want premier athletes. We want guys who can really put themselves to the test physically. And yeah, this is definitely more difficult. It proved to be.
Yeah, we didn't increase the amount of ammo on the field. And, being honest out there, there's really one easy ammo pickup on the field, and it's the cash. But we didn't add any more easy ammo. So now it's like, yeah, you can pick up the cash, get that one ammo, but you can't get this done. Well, I mean, you could, but I don't think anybody's going to get it done with four pieces of ammo. Now, especially we're putting them further away, right? Like they were a little bit harder this time around.
I was about to say that myself, especially due to the fact that yes, intentionally the targets were put farther. You know,
Yeah, and
they were all farther, and then the farthest was by far the greatest length we've had to shoot so far.
let's set the scene. So this was our first ever match on this field. I had gone there the week prior to scout it, looked, decent amount of size, and really what I look for in a field is the size mainly, and that things can be equal on both sides of the field. But it's a piece of private property. It's somebody's backyard. What did you think of the field when you first arrived? Because this day was the first time you'd been there.
I really liked it a lot. I mean, the whole layout had a good feel or theme to it. I felt, some of, like the obstacles in the middle of the field, or as we mentioned, the numerous amount of ant hills and everything else. It really gave, yeah, like a kind of survival feeling, like where we are in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, like trying to get something done. Yeah, and in the scorching heat again. But yeah, I feel it was a really good match, a really good, and honestly, even though it sounds crazy, a good day to have it, a good setting. It was an experience.
Yeah, and it was nice not having to look over our shoulder and being on like somewhere where we don't have to fear getting kicked out,
No, you're not wrong
especially
there.
after our last couple of times.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, dude. Yeah.
The host was awesome.
Very hospitable, very pleasant. Yeah, it was, besides the heat, it was a good experience. And again, I love the field. I thought it was really cool. I think it was something that gave us, yeah, a challenge to work with, and it had a good reloader theme in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of natural obstacles out there with like a little bit of holes, and there's like pieces of equipment that they had, I guess, for personal use, but it kind of played in well to our theme of the game. So it wasn't like there were these posts in the middle of the field that didn't really bother us. It was kind of like just kind of had to go around them. Didn't really interfere with the game. And we got there very early in the morning, and it was already getting hot, right? It got hot like pretty early. Like the sun just came up and it was already getting warm.
Yeah, I think by 8:30 it had to be at least around 90, if not a little
Yeah.
more. It was getting hot fast.
We tried to start setting up right away, and we had the disadvantage of needing to set. We didn't set up the full ropes like we usually do. We just set up what we needed to set up in terms of dividing the field and dividing the zones. But setting up the ropes is a challenge for somewhere we've never done it before. At the park, we had done it before. We kind of knew where things needed to go. At the desert, I actually went the night before and did it. But this time, it's kind of like it was new. So now we're only not only are we untangling the ropes, but we're also trying to find out where the ropes should go and trying to make it equal. So it posed its own challenge. That was probably the hardest part of the setup. It wasn't even lifting the heavy things. It was just that to me.
I believe we did well in that facet. Yeah, it was a little bit of an altered field, but as you mentioned, I mean, it was divided equally. I don't think either side was advantageous. Um, it helped us set up a little quicker. Yeah, I mean the ropes take the longest out of anything, not because it's hard physically, it just takes time.
Yeah, and the good thing about this location is I feel like we can probably set the field in a different direction if you want to next time and it look a little different. Like maybe create more space. Like if we did it at an angle this time to make the nether ender at a corner of the field, but we can also do it. If you see the drone shot, it's a big piece of land. We could do it like a football field if we wanted to.
Oh yeah, I mean it did show that there can be options.
I don't mind dirt. I don't mind getting dirty. But one thing I noticed early on as we're setting up out there is this dirt starting to get in my eyes and it's starting to burn my eyes. So if you notice during the round, this is the first time I'm wearing sunglasses during the round, and it wasn't because I'm trying to look cool. It's because I'm trying to get the dirt out of my eyes because it was blinding me to the point where before we even started, I'm pouring water on my eyeballs because it's stinging my eyes so bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me personally, I mean, it was very dirty. Like you said, it was a lot of dirt, but I feel like there was some dead grass or something. I got maybe
Yeah,
because I was wearing shorts, but I got a bunch of thorns in my socks and my shoes. Like it
like
was kind of a,
foxtails.
I think that's what they are. I mean, I believe so, yeah. But they're just a pain in the butt and it's uncomfortable.
Oh,
And yeah, you're trying
no,
to,
I do know what you're talking about. I had them on the bottom of my shoes. They're like tumbleweed thorns.
yeah. I had a gang of those, but like I said, advantageous having pants. I decided to wear shorts because it was going to be hot. So, I could just feel them sticking in my socks and I'm trying to finish the round. And, not that it's oh so horrible, but it's a little bit of a challenge on top of the challenge.
Yeah, I don't think my all black pants was that much of an advantage. And we'll find out why. So we finished setting up. We're ready to go. The cameras are on, and somebody dropped their GoPro and didn't realize that they weren't filming either. So the first, minute or so of Joe Pisoletto's side.
I I was just running too hard. What can I say?
Yeah, sure. So speaking of running so hard, you weren't running hard enough because Corvulu won that first piece of ammo in the race zone, which took us to now 6 out of 6 rounds. Yeah, 6 out of 6 rounds. The race winner has won the round.
The more I think about it, the race isn't going to be as big as a factor moving forward. I can see even now with 4 targets, somebody winning without winning the race. It depends a lot on strategy, your strengths. But one thing I've learned, or again, thinking earlier, was you just have to run your race. You can't really pay attention to what the other person is doing. You kind of have to stick to your strategy because at some points you're going to end up being closer than you think you are, even if you're the one trailing. It has a way of working itself out that way.
Oh, by the way, I've noticed during editing, you tend to take off your straps as you're running. I don't know if it's you already saw that you weren't going to win the zone, but you're already kind of like getting out of your straps. So that probably plays a part in you getting to reloads faster. You're already coming out of it before you even pass the zone. Do you notice that?
And this last round or last episode, yeah, I saw that for sure. I did know, Yeah, I didn't know you were beating me or gonna beat me. I don't know that first round, I just didn't feel like I had got going yet. I think I'd mentioned it previously. Those electrolytes really kicked in and helped. I mean, it was hot, but I felt better the second round than I did the first. The first, I just didn't, I guess, like have it or have that like burst. But I could tell and I did see. Yeah, I came out of the straps early. I think I
So
tend to do that. Period. I might.
I was on 1 hour of sleep, and I don't think I had anything to eat. But going into the first round, I felt really good, which is contradictory to actually what happened. But I felt really good. We were setting up the field, and I carried the water jugs from the van to wherever they were on the other side of the field. We weren't that close, and I felt good the whole time. So we'll see how this turns out. But anyways, you head to the sandbag first, and the way we set up the field this time around was the sandbag was kind of a little bit closer because it's kind of at an angle to where the race zone was.
Right.
So you head to the sandbag first. My strategy going in, seeing you go to the sandbag first, I'm like, that's my opportunity. I'm going to go to the water jugs, finish it faster than you're going to do that sandbag, smooth sailing from there for me. Yeah, wrong. So I run to the jugs, which seemed like it was a little farther, but it's probably all in my head because it was hot. But I get there, pick them up, and as soon as I pick them up, I feel something's wrong. Like my legs are not underneath. And I know now it was the heat, but I felt awful after that. After that, I was just done. And let me rewind. Sorry, sorry. During setup, I'm not wearing this long black shirt that is, I think it's all cotton or something, but it's heavy. It's cool looking for Corvulu. It's not very great to wear in the summertime. It's the same shirt, by the way, that I had worn last year when we were setting up in the desert that gave me a heat stroke then. And I decided to wear it again, of course, because I'm actually pretty good in the heat. I go hiking in the summer. I handle it well. So I'm not like overreacting. But this shirt is very thick. It's like a thick polo shirt, but long sleeve, and the sleeves are tapered. It's a great shirt, by the way. Go buy it. It's comfortable. It's just in the summer to work out in, probably not ideal. So but I wasn't wearing this during setup. I was wearing the blue T-shirt that you'll see me wear in the next episode. That's what I'm wearing during setup. So I'm cool, as cool as it is being 100 degrees or 90 something degrees outside. I'm fine. I'm actually feeling good. So, but before we start the race, I got to get into character. I put this shirt in. I put this freaking mask on, and the GoPro over the mask. This mask, it's not really a gator. It's more like something you'd wear on Halloween under a mask because it came with the plague doctor mask that Corvulu wears. But
Um,
it is not breathable in the least bit. It's like nylon. It's not like a breathable gator. If you ever put on a gator, a lot of people wore gators during COVID, and they're breathable. That's
yeah.
why they say they're not real masks because they're breathable. This thing is not. It just trapped all my heat. So 30 seconds into this match, just race zone from the race zone to the jugs, my heat has nowhere to radiate off of me. It's just trapped inside me. So it's in my brain, it's on my neck, and my heat has nowhere to go. So already I'm fading. I'm fading hard, like direct, like the chart is just down.
I give you credit, I guess. I mean, you're nuts, man. Like, yeah, like you said, you went out there twice. That's two times all black. I'm sure when you go hiking, you're not wearing all black in the dead heat of the summer, but
No,
you're more than willing to. The risks you take, I give you credit. I gotta give you credit for that.
I'm gonna say it was mostly the mask because it hit me before I even felt. I didn't even feel like I was hot. That's how weird it was. It just felt like my skin was suffocating now, but I didn't feel hot, so to say. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
wasn't like overly sweating or something where it's like, oh, it's hot. It's just like my heat had nowhere to go, so now it's just with me and my brain is starting to fry. That's what was probably going on, really.
That's probably what happened. I'd have to agree.
So at 8:33, So we're 27 seconds into the match. Geez, now that I think about it, it didn't even take 30 seconds. It took like more like 10 seconds for me to start feeling it. But 27 seconds into the match, you're dropping off the sandbag for +2 ammo. Corvulu's carrying the water jugs. And by this time, I'm really noticing something's off before I deliver the water jugs. It's like my legs are wobbly, and there's no reason for my legs to be wobbly. I'm not tired.
Yeah, the heat was a factor. I could feel it. Definitely obvious. It was one heck of a day.
So at 8:21, Corvulu picks up 2 pieces of ammo for delivering the water jugs. About the same time you throw the cash, even though you made a shit about throwing the cash, and then the cash tears and the some of the ball bearings come out on the floor. How do you defend yourself from such actions? How do you sleep at night is my question.
You made that in play. I mean, who am I to not take advantage of it? I mean,
Yeah,
I
but you no, actually, okay, it was fine. And then we said, don't, we're not going to do it. And immediately you went back to doing it. And then you just haven't stopped doing it.
did we
And now
really?
yeah, you're the one that said you can't do that. I go, all right, well, next time we won't do that. And the first round back, you did it in the park.
I must have forgot that conversation.
Jesus. Well, this time you ripped it and you have to duct tape it back together, by the way.
Well, yeah, I realized that happened. Obviously, if I knew that was gonna happen, I wouldn't have tossed it, or I would have probably wouldn't have tossed it from such a distance.
The thing we neglected to mention in last week's episode is yeah, the caches are still in play in the same way, but we actually covered them with that's not a tarp. What is it? What is it called? It's like a netting that it's like military looking netting. Basically, we covered it with these, just to make it a little bit harder to find inside the netting. And, thought it looked cool.
No, yeah, yeah, it was
But
it was a camouflage. It was a camouflage netting kind of. I would imagine, yeah, like for hunters, to build like a little
yeah,
spot, like to hide out. But yeah, it helped. Like, yeah, we hid the cash in there. And I can't remember which round, but I know one round I had a hard time finding it. It
well,
wasn't
good.
easy.
It served its purpose then. The
Yeah.
first round for me, by the way, at 8:06, I pick up one for the cash. But that first one for me was super easy to find. I don't know who put it in. I don't know if it was you or my wife, but whoever hit it didn't do very well, and I just grabbed it. It was like right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure to be honest with you. I don't recall. I think I just dropped them and then I think you guys covered them after or something.
Well, at the time that I'm delivering that at 8:06, you're carrying the water jugs. So at this point, you have 3 pieces of ammo. You're going for five now, and at 7:48, you pick up those two, and you have 5 pieces of ammo. But by this time, I have 4 pieces of ammo. I'm already in the nether ender zone, attempting the rescue. I think my plan at this point was to get two more, rescue him to the middle of the field after. But I kind of forgot about it because I was just so tired. I forgot to. I need just to keep dragging him. So like once I dumped him from the wheelbarrow, I left him there for a little bit. I was just too tired. But I think what my initial plan was, like my plan wasn't to try to shoot with four, but by the time I rescued him, I was already, when you're so tired, you're in a daze, and I was like in heat exhaustion land, so I didn't know what was what.
After the heat kicked in, plans definitely changed. But, I'm gonna know as you're saying you're going into another ender zone. As I mentioned previously, the race has a way of working itself out. I mean, I did them consecutively. So going for the water jugs, even though you're going back to the middle of the reloader zone, puts you closer. And yeah, I try to keep my feet moving. So as I had mentioned, by the time you were like starting to push the wheelbarrow back, I was right behind you. I had got the dummy, put it in my barrel, and wasn't too far behind at that point.
Yeah, my note here at 7:27, players are side by side at the wheelbarrow rescue in the nether ender. So at 7:27, we're both right there.
Yeah, I mean, despite winning the race, having a good strategy to get more quicker ammo, I still ended up catching up.
Yeah, and I'm dying at this point, but I was able to pick him up, put him in the wheelbarrow. I think just by sheer spite for everything. Not even sheer, people like try to make themselves like a hero, like, oh, my sheer will, my heart, got me through it. No, it was pure spite at the world, like just get in the wheelbarrow. I
But yeah,
unlock my gun at 6:59. 6 seconds later, you unlock your gun. You have 5 ammo, I have 4 ammo. That's 6:53 when you unlock your gun. At 6:41, here comes where the action is. And on the show, you can't really tell what I'm doing. I do put something in the ticker where it's like heat exhaustion, or I forgot what I wrote, but like a warning. But I'm basically dry heaving on the line of the tether. I'm puking without anything coming out because I'm dying of heat exhaustion. And I felt like I was doing it for like a good minute, but it's honestly it's like 5 seconds. But it felt like, because I don't know what you're doing because I have my back turned to you. So I feel
right.
like I'm actively losing the round because I'm dry heaving. And I know all these cameras are pointed at me. I edit it to where I change the angle to my GoPro so that you don't see me. It's the, like, I feel like everybody's looking at me throw up type of feeling. You know what I mean?
I I think there's a point where you can kind of tell though, in certain points of the round where yeah, like your hands are on your knees or you might be like heaving because you can tell, like you said, it's the GoPro, but the angle kind of looks like there's some motion to some motion to it too.
Uh, yeah,
So, yeah.
it's the GoPro's just facing the ground, so, and nothing's coming out, so it's like you don't there's no vomit, but it's I'm doing the whole gagging, you know what I mean?
I mean,
I don't know if you could
well,
hear me from where you were standing. Could you hear what I'm doing?
no, but like I said, I was there. I couldn't hear you, but yeah, I could see out of the corner of my eye, kind of what's going on.
So at 6:16, you're ready to start taking your shots. You have 5 pieces of ammo again. You're ready to start shooting, but it looks like you have trouble with your weapon. You tell me what you were experiencing, because if you look at the match, it's a good 30 seconds that you're struggling with it.
I guess the canister eventually was what had ran out. I wasn't aware of that. It probably didn't register in my head at first. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And yeah, I was struggling. Like you said, oh yeah, check the safety. I checked. Oh yeah, that wasn't it. You know what I mean? At first I thought, oh great. Yeah, I had to end up switching it. Kind of threw me off a little bit.
Side note, at 6:09, Joe Pisoletto looks down the barrel, points the gun at his face as he's looking down the barrel of a loaded paintball gun with rubber bullets, like a cartoon character. Did you see that? Did you see looking down the barrel like your eye, like Elmer Fudd about to blow himself in the face? While you're struggling, I start shooting at 6:41. I get off 2 shots and I go 1 for 2. So in one of my first 2 shots, 2 ammo came out, like one just fell on the floor. And that had happened to you later. So I'm wondering if this was our first time using rubber paintballs, right? We
Yeah.
didn't use regular paintballs because, out of respect for the property, we don't want to like paint everything up. So we used rubber paintballs that don't make any sort of mark on the walls or anything. And they're a little bit heavier. I wonder if that had anything to do with, an extra piece of ammo falling into the chamber, or what.
I really think that that might have been the case, as you're mentioning, and I thought about it because we didn't really have those problems before with the actual paintballs. Yeah, the texture's different, the weight's different.
I decided to stop shooting and go for that rescue reload with 3 targets remaining still for me. You look at me like, you're not shooting? I'm like, no, I'm going for this.
That was definitely a different strategy. Caught me off guard, but I figured, hey, here's my chance. It didn't happen, but I mean, yeah, what were you thinking? I mean, I don't know.
I only had 2 pieces of ammo left at that point, and I had 3 targets to go. So I can shoot them now and have to come back and try to get the last 1 or 2. Or I can come back with 4 bullets and try to go for the last 3. I figured that was a better, because once you get that aim down, you could kind of just go bam, 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 easier to me.
Right.
It's we've discussed it before, but it's advantageous to have a bigger supply of ammo before you start shooting. And my original plan, like I said, was to have 6 pieces of ammo, but I just kind of forgot while I was throwing up, type of thing.
You're right in that sense. The more ammo you have, you can get a better rhythm. So for you, I mean, I guess that ended up, yeah, that was a smarter strategy on how to go about it.
At 5:17, you finally start shooting with your 5 pieces of ammo. At 5:04, I pick up two more pieces of ammo for delivering that dummy, and you can see I'm struggling. I'm dragging him, and he feels like he's 5 times what he actually weighs. It's at this point, I'm so miserable out there, dude. I'm dead all around. At 451, you fire off your fifth shot. You go 3 for 5. Tell me what was going on with your shooting today.
Yeah, I don't know why my aim was off. The furthest one was the farthest it's been,
Yeah,
and I missed that one, missed the second one. I didn't think I'd miss the second one. I thought for sure I'd get it, and I didn't.
you had gone from like easy one, and then you saved the furthest one for last, right?
I think I missed the first one, hit it, hit two more, and then missed the farthest one.
Yeah,
And
but you had
so
saved the farthest one for last.
I did, but maybe it was lack of confidence. I knew it was going to kind of be a challenge. And as I mentioned, you going back for the two to get 4 for 3 was better than me missing, having to go do another reload, and then trying to come back and get set again. That made it difficult. Yeah, I get the sport isn't supposed to be easy. There's supposed to be tough reloads, and to get more ammo, that's you're left with. Your only options are probably the harder ones you try to avoid,
Yeah,
you know.
the ones that you didn't plan for in your strategy. 433. I'm back at the boundary of the nether ender in the reloader zone where we shoot. So I'm ready to start shooting again. At 4 seconds later, you finish the rescue reload, so you pick up your two more pieces of ammo. So now for those keeping score, I have 4 ammo with 3 targets to go. You have 2 ammo with 1 target to go. But by 426, before you're even back at the line, I'm done shooting. I go 3 for 3. And here's where we get to the controversy. All right, so the way the targets are set up is the furthest one is like second from the boundary. On the red side, it's a second from, you know, on the left, and for the blue side, it's a second on the right. So I had 3 targets to go. So the first target when I came back was a closer one, and I hit that one easy. So the controversy is in the further one, which would be my second shot. Now let me preempt everything. I'm going to my defense mode here, Your Honor. The targets are cardboard. So yeah, you're right. They would easily make a hole when we shoot. Even when we shoot paintballs that are like a light, thin plastic that biodegradable, so it's very thin plastic. It makes a hole through these cardboard, especially with the force that the CO2 is shooting the bullets. It makes a hole through the cardboard. So the rubber paintballs, well, they're not paintball. I guess the rubber balls that we're shooting definitely make holes through. And my target that you're claiming I did not hit does not have a hole. So after the first round, I had mentioned this to you. Like, I barely hit that furthest one. Like I skinned his head, and I didn't think anything of it because I didn't think I was going to go come into court after that to defend myself. I just named it in passing, like oh, I got lucky. Like I barely skinned his head. Now with these targets, they're cardboard, and I have them
Wait, wait,
taped.
wait, 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 wait.
What? What?
So you're just supposed to say, "Oh, I skinned his head." I mean, yeah, I can be like, "Oh, I nicked his shoulder. Oh, I hit it right under his stomach." Like, come on.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
about to explain to you why there's no mark. Okay, so these targets are cardboard, and they're supported on the back with duct tape and like these yard signs. You put like a sign on the grass that's like a for sale sign or something. It's like these metal frames. We tape two of those. We tape one like towards the bottom of that so that they stick into the ground, and then I put a second one like up to the shoulders so that it's more reinforced so that it doesn't flap in the wind so much. That's why there's two of them. So when you shoot to the body, yeah, the body is not going to give at all because those metal brackets are holding them up. So yeah, it will create a hole through the body. The head, however, is not reinforced by anything. So that it's a good chance that if you shoot the head with a rubber bullet or even a paintball bullet, it's not going to make a hole because the head's just going to flap back. You know what I'm saying? because there's nothing reinforced. Like there's no. It's just kind of like flicking, cardboard.
See, but I don't remember seeing any like indentations of that head bent back, or even though I can take, I have a photo. I will post this.
Oh boy.
I am gonna have to take a very close look and see if there's any markings or any proof. Because last time I checked, when targets get shot, holes go through them. I understand what you're saying. I take you as an honest person, but you're trying to win around here, and I didn't see it. The camera didn't pick it up, but somehow
No,
this
the
thing
cat. No.
magically
So,
happened.
so the camera didn't pick it up, because the GoPro's a little. That's the furthest target. The GoPro only goes so far. So I did review the footage frame by frame, and I couldn't prove it for myself or otherwise. It's kind of, you can't even tell. It's just too far. Uh,
Well, well,
all I can tell you is at the time I heard it and I saw it.
yeah, me too. In that case, I'm like 100 for 100 shooting.
Yeah, well, that's you. Nobody believes you anyways at this point. But anyways, my point being that because of the way the targets are taped and the head is not supported by anything, it makes perfect sense for a heavier rubber bullet to just kind of flick past it. And I'm not saying I caught him dead in the head. It wasn't a great shot. I'm telling you, I skinned him. I hit him, but I skinned him. It wasn't my best shot for sure, but I skinned him. I'll tell you that.
All right. Well, I mean,
I'll go to my grave saying it, which I almost did on that day. But so at 4:26, I was done shooting, according to me. At 4:13, so at that point I head to the memory challenge. At 4:13, you take your shot, and I only say one shot because you only got one off out of your two bullets. What happened?
well, as we mentioned, or you mentioned before, you had taken a shot where one flew out and one fell. My shot went diagonally. I
You came out at
basically,
once?
yeah, I took aim, hoping to hit it, and I saw one rubber ball go like up and to the right over the target, and I saw another one kind of go to the left. Yeah, fall short to the left of it. Corvulu at that point was going to beat me, but I mean that was it.
Now, as the rule stands, we have an agreement that if a shot didn't really fire, you can take that shot again, and we've done that before, like in the park where we had like false shots. So you were
Right,
able to either, you probably would have to reload again from a tube or something. By the time you did that, by the time you shot that thing, I'm already have the ammo boxes in my hand, anyways. So even if you're gonna take another shot at it, you
right.
would have. Now, just because it was a misfire, it does still count as one missed shot. Like you don't get both shots back. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
you
no, no, no,
fired,
I get that
one
part.
did come out, so it counts as one. Because
Yeah,
if you would have
no,
hit it with either of those, it would have counted, obviously.
that's
Even
true.
though they went in opposite ways. Hey, if anything, it sounded like you had a better chance to hit it.
I would I would hit it twice.
Yeah, double your chances.
No, I mean
Uh,
I guess mentally from there I was done because yeah, I didn't think about getting the supply bag. I didn't think about trying to get another shot off, and yeah, at that point I wasn't gonna win anyway. So
well,
yeah,
yeah, I think after that shot, I was like already there at the wheelbarrow, and you had said something like, all I heard was like I'm out or something, a bullets or something. So at that point, I realized I can take my time and wheelbarrow to the boss target. So I wasn't really rushing out there at the end.
well, I think you can see on the last episode. I don't know if it's at the end of the race or when we do our replay towards the end of the episode. You can see I'm where I wave my imaginary flag, like I give.
In the post credit scene, you can hear you say something like, fired and two shots came out at once" or something. Right before I start gagging. So at 3:52, the match is over, and yeah, our bonus scene for this episode was me finishing the round, removing the mask, and go right back to dry heaving. Any post race thoughts for you? Were you just
It,
ready to go for round two at that point?
it was tough. It was frustrating. Of course, I wanted to win. There was a point where I thought I actually had a chance to. Like I said, I felt like I just didn't have it going yet at that point. I felt, a step slow, or I just couldn't put it in full gear. Yeah, again, thought I had a chance and couldn't pull it off. So it was a lot of frustration, and I was pretty confident I was gonna hopefully be able to take round two, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I wasn't even confident I could do a round two the way I was feeling at that point. So we have a new schedule now. Our main show is now on Saturdays at 10 a.m., just like my old Saturday morning cartoon days. I think more people are available on this day versus Fridays. So let's see how it goes. I think Saturdays are, just gives people a better chance to watch it. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea. I think you're right. Fridays people I think are still kind of unwinding or maybe still busy with their week. Yeah, Saturday. I think it's a great idea.
Let's see how it goes. Yeah. But as a result, our podcast is now going to move to Wednesdays, push it everything back one day. So this will be the first Wednesday. This episode is the first Wednesday that people are hearing us. So hopefully Wednesday also is a good time slot for our podcast.
Get you over the hump.
Yeah. Come hump us on hump day. That's going to be our new catchphrase. And the shorts will be the other 5 days of the week that are not Saturday and Wednesday. Our new time slots for everything, besides the main show, which is at 10 a.m., everything else is at 1 p.m., right in the middle of the afternoon. And these are all Pacific time. I'm talking, LA time over here. And if anybody listening to this wants to get their ass beat in Reloader, because I'm tired of beating Joe every week, it's hard work out here.
Got
So
jokes. Got jokes.
yeah, so if anybody wants to get their ass beat in Reloader, please let us know.
I welcome anybody who wants to go out there and try it out. It definitely isn't easy. I'll say that much.
I would love to be the referee for a match because it adds a whole other element to the game. Because some people claim that some targets aren't being hit. I don't know. A
I mean,
referee can clear that up.
we can have this conversation again and again, but nevertheless, I'm just looking forward to next week. That's all I have to say for now.
All right, and are you talking about next week's episode? Or are you talking about next week's filming time trials where I can, take you to school again? I'll show up in a big yellow bus to pick you up, take you to school.
Probably, probably a little bit of both. I'd say I'm looking forward to the discussion, and I'm looking forward to crashing that bus you intend to pick me up in.
No, I hope there's no children in
It's just you. It's just
it. All right, well, that's it for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Drop us a comment. That is sorry. They don't drop us a comment. Drop a comment for
yes.
us. In us. Drop it in us. No, that's not how you
No.
say it. Oh, okay. Well, drop one. Drop. If you drop two comments, I think it's called dropping a deuce. No, drop a deuce on us. One for each episode. No, one for
There
each
you go.
host. A deuce for each host. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.